Good morning, friends. This is a first for me. This is a first video in a series of Workday videos. I'm going to show you how to take the wool that I'm selling online from this to this. This is nice, beautiful, clean, fluffed, and picked wool. It's not quite dry. You can see that it's still spread out and drying, but this is going to be ready for carding and spinning or felting in just a few hours. Now, let me be clear. I washed the fleece that you see on the bed here. I washed this fleece a few days ago, and it's been drying very slowly in my house because I couldn't spread it out for a few days. Today is the day that I spread it out on the bed because I'm here and I can manage this little friend who wants to help with the process. Let's take you outside. The fleece that I'm cleaning today is from a Navajo Churro sheep that is raised in Parma, Idaho. This is one full fleece from one individual sheep. It is really large. I think this is probably about 6 pounds of unwashed wool. And the plan today is to wash all of this in these bins to get them ready for drying and felting. On my Etsy site, you may see a cat bed or cat blanket up here. That's what I'm attempting to do with this fleece today. The great thing about washing this fleece is it's very easy to do in just one morning. This is a hot summer morning in Idaho, and I'm filling 3 bins with hot water. I'm going to be adding Dawn dish soap to each of them very soon, and then we just set them in and soak them. For this particular project, I'm not too worried about felting because the project that I'm going to be doing is making cat blanket or cat mat and a felted cat cave. These are both felted projects, and it's perfectly acceptable to have some felting in it. I am trying to prepare the fleece to allow it to still be loose so that I can control the amount of felting, but I'm not too worried about it. If this fleece felts today, it will just tend to lend to the overall project. By showing you how to do this project, you'll see that you can buy a cat bed, a cat cave, or a cat mat from the Etsy website that I have already made, or you can simply buy the raw untreated fleece and make it yourself. Okay, so my water is all run. It is all hot water from the tap, from the utility sink in the garage. I have 18-gallon buckets here, 18-gallon basins, and they probably have about 10 to 12 gallons of water in each. This is a very large fleece, and so I'm splitting this into thirds and washing a third of it in each basin. Because of this, I'm going to have to put them in these mesh bags and submerge them in the water, and then each time I'm ready to rinse or rewash, I'll lift them out, set them on a clean driveway, let them drain a little bit while I'm emptying and refilling these buckets. I'm going to go ahead and put in each of these buckets some Dawn dish soap. You can be more exact than this, but I just put maybe a 1/3 cup, maybe a 1/4 cup in each. You don't want it to be terribly soapy, but you do want it to be soapy enough to break down the oils and the lanolin that is in the untreated raw organic sheep fleece. Now you're going to notice with this sheep fleece, this is unpicked wool. I have not picked out the fibers. I have not picked it apart, so you can see that the backside is still quite close together. Now soap is going to be able to get in here just fine, but I haven't opened up any of these fibers. One option that you have is to take a dog brush and flicker open those fibers. You can also pull them apart. I'm going to spend just a little bit of time this morning pulling apart some of these fibers. All right, now you can see that we have 3 piles of fleece here, Now I have not done any picking on this. There's still some grasses, seeds, and sticks in this. As I put it in the water, if I see something, I'll pull it out. And if I were preparing this for spinning, I might be a little bit more picky on how I do this. The last time I did it, I went through each and I pre-picked it so that it was much more fluffy when it went into the water. And I also opened up the fibers to make sure that we were getting good soapy water in between every single fiber. Since I'm making this into felted projects for animals, I'm not quite as worried about how this is going to turn out, and I'm very well able to pick it after the washing. So we're going to put our first pile of fleece into our first bucket with soapy water. And we want to be sure that the soap is already stirred through before we ever put the fleece in, because once the fleece is in there, you really don't want to stir it or disturb it or agitate it in any way. If you do that, it will pre-felt in your water, and it'll be much harder for you to work on. If you were spinning, it would ruin it. And if you're working on a pet project, it's going to make it harder for you. Here's the first fleece that we're going to put in. So I'm just going to carry this right over and set it right into the hot soapy water. The next thing I have is a PVC pipe that I'm going to use to press it down. This dark that you see is brown fleece, it's not poop. I'm pressing this down in there and not stirring it in, again, to keep from felting the project. You can see already the amount of dirt that's coming off. There are greases and lanolins in this fleece that have to be broken down, which is why we use hot water. If you were cleaning an alpaca fleece, you wouldn't have this issue, because alpaca doesn't have lanolin. So I'm going to do the same thing with these next two, and we'll let that soak. Okay, so I now have 3 basins of hot soapy water with the wool inside. I've pressed them all down in. Now I'm just going to set my alarm for about 45 minutes. Some people say only 20 minutes. This is pretty dirty yarn, so I'm going to say 45 minutes just to be sure that it's broken down. One of the things you may notice when I put the wool into the bins out there, I forgot to put them in the mesh bags. Ugh, that's going to make getting that wool out a lot more difficult. But in this case, I'll just lift it out, put it in the mesh bags, and set it on the dryer to dry. And then the next time during the rinse or extra wash process, it'll all be ready to go. This would have been a lot easier if I had put the fleece in the bag dry, but I forgot to. So what I'm going to do here is put the fleece in the bag as in taking it out, and then the next time it'll be a lot easier. I want you to take a look at how dirty the water is after the first washing. You remember how clean it was when I first put it in there? This is just one washing and soaking for 1 hour. I've taken the washed fleece out of the dirty soapy water. I've squeezed it to get most of the water out, and now I'm refilling the basins with hot, clean water. This is the first rinse. The second rinse, I'm going to put probably about a 1/3 cup of fabric softener into the water with it. If you agitate the wool while the water's going in, you're likely to felt the wool before you're ready. So be sure that you fill the bins, and then set the wool in. I use a PVC pipe to press it down into the hot water. We have washed for about an hour, rinsed for about 45 minutes, and then rinsed again in water with fabric softener for about another 25 to 30 minutes. The water is so clear, so much clearer. The only cloudiness in it really comes from the fabric softener. So I'm going to lift these up and let them drain. Well, I'm being brave, folks. I'm trying to spin the washed and rinsed wool in the washer. I've put it on drain and spin, and I've made sure to stay right here with it is just going to spin for a few minutes to get that extra water out, and then we're taking the fleece out to the drying rack. I'll meet you there. This is our summer drying rack. You can see it's just a screen door on my deck chairs. And then I have a piece of tulle that will be the netting that will go across the fleece. As soon as the fleece is done spinning, we're going to bring it right out here, put it out, spread it out, and let it dry in the summer sun. Well, that seems to have worked really well. I have 3 bags of very light and fluffy fleece here that I'm going to spread out on the drying rack and let the summer sun start to get them ready for spinning. All of the wool is spread out on the drying rack. You can see there is a lot of wool there. It's a very thick layer of wool that needs to dry. So this is going to take all day. I'm really glad I got out here early this morning to get things started. I'll come out every hour or so and turn and fluff and reposition the wool, and it should be dry enough to go inside by at least this evening.